Hey, hello.
Hello.
Welcome after quite some time
Yeah.
to our Dungeons and Dragons stream.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
In fact, do you want to hold
but
up?
not in the world
Do you want to hold up Garfield?
of Dungeons
Well-
and Dragons.
Yeah, very little has happened there. In fact, basically nothing. Nothing. Those people, when we don't think about them, are dead.
That's true.
It's like Severance.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that, actually.
And they don't know about us.
And yeah.
I would so play a Severance one shot.
Ooh, that's
sounds
fun.
kinda
Yeah.
actually.
I think the Delta Green system, or maybe the Paranoia game system, would be kind of perfect for that. Anyhow, obviously, this is a Dungeons and Dragons live play group called Long Strange Cantrip, and we're playing a Curse of Strahd campaign, 5e, with some 2024 rules. It's a campaign titled What Rough Beast that takes place in a historical fiction version of the world, our world, and as a reference, oh man, a lot has happened. There's been some interesting things that have happened in this world. What's a good touchstone? Luka Doncic now plays for the Los Angeles Lakers.
That is a weird one.
It's weird.
Because if you had told me that a week ago, I'd been like, you're crazy.
That you're talking about a different universe.
Yeah.
The other major thing that has happened is we have a new member of the group, a dog.
And it's not Monto.
It's not Monto. His name is Garfield. He's a little bit bigger than Monto would be. And he'll be around here somewhere. We'll show him
He's
to
over
you.
here.
Okay.
But he's already too big. I can't lift him to show you.
Yeah.
Only Eugene can. Garfield, don't even think about eating those slippers. Yeah.
Nishan, why don't you move a little to your left?
My left?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think I don't sound like a weird monster. I
Here
think
he
that
is.
everyone is
There he
visible.
is.
Oh,
There
I
he
can
is.
have this thing zoom in on me a little bit.
It's
Okay.
Garfield.
And other
Here
than
he
that,
is.
there he is. Oh,
Hi.
it's Garfield.
Hi, Garfield.
Oh, what a buddy!
Yeah. He's a
Like-
major buddy. He's a very sweet dog. We love him.
And this is his
he's
first
great.
time playing D&D.
Yeah, and this is
He
his
does have a
very-
D20, actually. And if he wasn't only 4 months old, maybe we could get him to, like, roll it anytime, like, Monto has to.
Oh, Kishan, will you move that camera down a little bit? Like, just tilt it down a tiny bit?
Is that enough?
A little more?
Look at
Yeah,
the
I think that's
headroom
good.
on Eugene.
Yeah.
You think that's good?
Check out the headroom on that guy. Is that good? Too much headroom? I think that's good. Okay, so
We could,
without
like, green screen a lot of things onto your hat.
that's true. I made a custom hat. Without further ado, I'll introduce just our straight up names. I'm Eugene. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm the dungeon master. Obviously, that's why I sit here with this screen before me.
Yep. I'm Alec, no screen before me. I'm playing Eric, he, him, and he's a little psionic sad boy.
I'm Lishan. My pronouns are she, her. And I
Garfield, get
play
out of there.
Lady Lon, who is a barbarian.
That's right.
I'm Nick. I play Father Esquivel, a Catholic
we're-
priest.
we're going with Father again.
Never.
About that.
Yeah, I won't.
If you never tell, it's not that fun.
Yeah. We
And
just never know. Hey, I'm Lore. My pronouns are they, them, and he, him. And I play a surly Circle of Stars druid named Rowan Dumnalik.
in order to
Surly Serlenberger.
So, yeah. In order to learn a bit more about these characters, watch a little video about them.
Garfield, what are you chewing on?
I think I know how to do that.
Eugene, I think he's chewing on something he shouldn't.
How do you know? What's he chewing on?
I can't see it, that's the problem.
What are you? What's in there? Oh, it's a figurine.
Oh no! Oh no! I think I know which one it is. What?
Oh,
It's
surprise!
like somebody holding a
Smaller one than you'd think.
holding a tankard, maybe.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is smaller than you'd think.
Oh my god. This is
See,
why
he's
he
already
shouldn't be in
trying to
here.
help.
Yeah, he's trying to help.
Honestly, that should affect if Garfield destroys certain figures. That should affect what happens in our game.
We're
think that's
walking
fair.
through a town, and all of a sudden, like
A mangled
yeah,
person.
it's just like a person is pulled up into the sky and like crushed.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, thank
Okay.
you for extracting that.
Yeah, way to extract.
I thought you did a sweep in here to make sure there were.
Sorts. Okay. This out.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Damnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Eric von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist. His hair, a messy jet black patch, appears to be thinning. He moves with the jerky grace of a puppet, his limbs seemingly not entirely his own. Clutched firmly in his hand is a ruby brooch, a glimmer of hope in a life filled with darkness. Whispers follow him, telling of a noble lineage abandoned, a sinister apprenticeship, and a mysterious benefactor offering salvation in a distant land. There is an unsettling aura that surrounds him, a disquiet that hints at secrets best left undisturbed.
Name him after this famous admiral, who was also a famous eunuch, which will soon be Garfield as well.
We're talking Garfield names here. He's got more assigned to him. One thing I forgot to mention, it's Thursday. Isn't that interesting? We used to play on Mondays, but for various circumstances we've changed. We'll be here for the next few Thursdays in a row.
That was a whole different year.
Frankly, it was a different year,
It was.
and we just decided
And truly a different time.
I mean, it's 20, 25
There was a
Mondays
different-
are just, it's not acceptable.
There was a different
Well,
president.
Garfield doesn't like Mondays.
There was a different president. Garfield doesn't like Mondays, and also we felt
Spiders.
like you gotta come for the king. It's Critical Role night. I feel like it's just best to go
we're in it to straight up compete.
head to head.
Yeah.
Who's
Head to very
will go
tiny
well
head.
for us.
who's a positivity bot gonna watch now?
Yeah, we I figure one day they'll slip up and we'll be there to pick up the pieces.
They're just gonna say the N word a bunch of times.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're gonna max headroom broadcast to like replace their own
Or
stream.
airheads,
Yeah, maybe the Joker will take over.
or
The
Joker, or
Yeah.
King of Comedy.
We'll do a V for Vendetta.
Yes, any of those.
Take over the broadcast.
Any of those references.
This can only go well.
So
Airheads.
look
Nice.
out, watch out. We're coming for you, King. Let's recap where we left off since it's been a little while. Here he comes. Here comes Garfield. We need to stop commenting on his activities. This is what he wants. We need to stop platforming him.
We're just normalizing talking about Garfield.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to deplatform talking about Garfield. So last we left our heroes, you were waking up on the shores of Lake Zarovich, where Irina had a vision from her past, a strangely familiar vision, and resumed your journey to Vallaki, where you were headed because it was purportedly a safer place to be, and also because... Go away! And also because Irina's brother... Go.
Oh my god.
Get out of here!
Go away,
Garfield.
said Irina to Strahd.
Oh, he's caught. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And also because... no, he's back.
Eugene, do you want me to give you his bed
No.
so that you can put it behind you?
No, I want him to just think of this place as a place of no honor.
Well, there's nothing we can do there.
Can we change what the dog thinks?
No, you know what you need? You need a spray bottle.
Yeah, that's right. He hates spray. Whoa.
Is there anything that he sees as not honorable, specifically, that we can put over there?
Vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners and spray
He doesn't.
bottles.
Yeah, anything that like sucks or exposes.
He hates mean
Oh,
people.
I do
Expresses
all
air,
that.
he doesn't
I do all
like.
that.
Yeah.
So like hair dryers.
Let me
Okay. So, Irina, who had been pursued by Count Strahd
Boo.
von Zarovich. Oh my god.
I remember that part.
Not a fan.
And apparently now, so did you, was seeking sanctuary at the Church of St. Andrel. This is not working. Like, seriously, get the fuck out of here.
Language.
He's
He's
eating
gonna learn
everything.
bad words.
He's eating everything. No, the more I push, the more he eats.
What's he going? What's he?
Like my foot, my leg, every cord. All of it. Oh my god.
Not until
Laura,
the
will
game
you-
started.
But what are you?
Oh my god, he's just...
Actually being consumed.
Why don't you just put him in the other? Eugene, I think you just go put him in the other room.
Laura, will you just pull him? Oh,
Come here.
okay. Laura,
Just screaming. Just screaming. Wordless.
What's up?
great.
Oh boy.
Perfect. Great job, Laura.
Oh,
Sanctuary at the Church of St. Andrel in Vallaki. a town whose defenses were more considerable and apparently had managed to keep Strahd at bay all this time. On your way there, you finally were met face to face with a sound and visions that had been pursuing you throughout the forest, embodied in these half-man, half-wolf abominations. And you did manage to fight them off with the help of not just Irina, who's in your party, but also some friendly ravens who were following you, and also following the raven companion that you rescued earlier, Blue. That said, it wasn't without casualty, as Lady Lan was struck by one of the werewolves, and the wound just won't heal. Who knows what that will lead to. When you got to Valaki, you walked past a camp of refugees from the village of Barovia who were apparently not being let in. They seemed to be quite destitute, and Irina immediately decided to stay with them and see what she could find out. In the meantime, you were let in by the guards, who were armed with silvered weapons, and ordered you to surrender any silver coins in your possession so that they could apparently be melted down. You were paid back in copper and electrum, but minus a bit of a tax for the upkeep of the city. You were also tested for vampirism and werewolfism, apparently. And from there, you decided to take a load off after some hard traveling and went off to the Blue Water Inn, where you were greeted by the friendly innkeeper, Erwin, and his wife, Danica, and came in just in time to hear a amusing tale about a vampiric count from a new guest at the Blue Water, a minstrel named Rictavio. Rictavio retired after a bit of heckling from two drunken young men, Carl and Nikolai, who were introduced as important figures in the town. And you sat down at a table preparing to have a meal of some stew, a wolf steak, and some boiled beets. Just then, Danica approaches, carrying a tray. Roll a dexterity check, Father Esquivel. Sorry, dexterity save.
Let's see. Dexterity. 12.
So just then, from under her apron, comes a small impish figure. You suddenly realize, no, it's a boy in a mask, a garish clown mask. And she, of course, loses her balance as another boy runs around from beside her left leg. As the tray flies up into the air, you manage to catch a bowl by itself, and then the tray, and then land a second bowl back onto the tray. Very, very dexterous and deft work by you, as she whirls around wondering what happened, and then looks disappointed at the children standing at her feet.
I wouldn't presume these are for us, but it seems like...
were, but Brom, Bray, what did I tell you about running with the mask on? And one of the boys says, you said not to do it? And what did I tell you about spilling soup? You definitely said not to do that. So, apologize to the guest. And they say in one voice, we're sorry.
Well, thank you for apologizing. That's very big of you. Now, like, Father Esquivel looks sort of nervously around the group for any, like, prompt. Like, do as your mother says.
That's right. Go to bed. It's high time you retired. Yes? And they slowly proceed up the stairs. She apologizes once again. I'm sorry. They have it's a rambunctious phase, and one goads the other. It's
Not to worry.
a bit challenging.
There's no harm done.
Well, thanks to you. Although I must say we do have more beats. So, would not have been a terrible tragedy, but still better to not spill on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Although I should have liked to make them clean up after.
I look around at everyone else. Who got the soup?
Soup for me.
Right. Yes.
And the wolf steak
Wolf stick.
for the boy.
He's a growing boy.
Oh, he looks like he needs it, and very well behaved.
Yes.
Is that
Iron
right?
is low.
That is right. I pride myself on being very well behaved.
Well, you certainly are. You've raised him very well.
Yeah, it does. That really bolsters my self-esteem. Thank you.
You must be very proud.
They are.
We're
Yes.
proud. Yes.
And I must apologize again. These meals are free. On us entirely.
It's very kind of you, but it's not necessary.
Well, the room, of course, is another story.
Well, we can talk about that.
Garfield's playing with his D20. And if you want goat milk to take up to bed with you, or a tub of hot water, they'll be available in the kitchen. Linens, clean linens, if you need.
Yes, we will need.
Okay, and
Have it sent up, please.
okay, fresh linens. And as I recall, there were 2 single-room beds and 1 room with 2 beds. So you may find them upstairs, and she hands you 3 keys.
Lady Lan is like, single room.
We serve the breakfast at first light, and it will be available through the morning.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Any other business downstairs? The dining room is pretty empty.
Did we ask about the storyteller last time? Did we find anything out?
You found out that he had come earlier that day, that Erwin offered, much to Danica's chagrin, offered for him to stay for free in exchange for storytelling, and that he came with a sort of traveling carnival, it seems, but that was it. A one-person
master.
carnival, a circus master.
I wrote
yeah.
that he was from circus master from far away.
That's right. Very far, it seems.
Hello. Me beastie.
Well, thank you very much.
It's
If we have
no
any-
problem. I will put the little ones to bed, and Erwin will clean your dishes. Just simply leave them at the table.
Thank you.
I think I'd probably go over by the fire, find a seat there, like kick up my feet for a little bit. Not quite ready to like turn in just yet.
Yeah.
Want to get warm. Still feel chilly in my bones.
You do that, and sort of habitually, you take out your star map, and as you study it in the way that you typically do in evenings to think about tomorrow, to prepare your spells for the following day, you notice it seems like it might be starting to lose stars. There were just some that you were pretty sure were there, and no longer are.
That can't be right. So, maybe like wore them down, palming it too much. I don't know.
It's possible.
Weird.
Is anybody going to do the bath option?
What's the bath option? Just like take a bath? Like a hot bath?
In the kitchen, there's a tub you can use.
Like a communal tub?
Only one person at a time can use it.
But is it like a private tub? Like is it a sanitary tub?
You can pour fresh hot water into it.
Okay. Is there anyone in the kitchen?
At the moment, Erwin is in there kind of cleaning up.
So I think Lady Lon would go in and say, please fill the tub with clean water and then leave me.
Can I have maybe 5-10 minutes to finish?
Yes. Very
Okay. Your Excellency, your bath will await you. Anybody else for the bath?
No, not me.
Splash some water on my face and I'm fine.
Very well. Anything for you two?
Just happy to be warm.
I think I'm just going over in my head all of the, like, we've gotten several things that we were supposed to at least see to in the town, and we've got a little time, I guess. I guess I would. No, I'll wait to do this once we're in the rooms. Yeah, I'm good for now.
There's tea. Tea
Oh.
being made.
Lovely.
Lady Lon likes that.
It's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, the tea's ready for anybody who's interested. Okay, so you can retire. Who's sharing the room?
I suppose. I assume, since I'm a child.
That makes sense.
In
Yeah.
the sharing group.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Lady Lon has already taken one of the single rooms, so.
Well, so what is it that you wanted to do when you got back to the room?
I, for the first time, was going to take out the augury bones and attempt to cast augury, and it has to be a course of action that we're going to undertake in the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I was going to ask and I'm not even sure as I'm doing this, but I was going to ask, like, is it safe to spend the night here? Is it safe to go to sleep?
So you then sort of shake the bones?
I think that he would, he's not quite sure, like, what force is giving him the knowledge or power necessary to do the spell, since most of these things are coming sort of by instinct rather than training. But I think he might arrange the bones in like the shape of a crucifix, or he's not quite sure. But it would have some kind of cross shape.
If you arrange them, though, how do they tell you something?
Yeah, I don't think he would. I don't know. I mean, I guess he would toss the bones then. I mean,
Yeah,
he
I
would
think
try
he would toss
both
them, yeah.
of these things.
So you first arrange the bones in the shape of a crucifix, and you sort of stare at it for a bit. and it doesn't tell you anything. And you've got them stationed on the only sort of flat surface, which happened to be, there was a mirror in the room, a dressing mirror. Not many in this town, but this used to be apparently a fancy inn. And to get a large enough surface, you took the mirror off the wall and placed it flat on a bed. And as you pick up the bones from the crucifix shape to try a different arrangement, right at the point where the two lines of the crucifix meet, you see a red spot. And at first you have no idea what it is, but very quickly you discern, after snapping out of your initial sort of awe at this, that you're looking at a reflection of the window next to you. And what's being reflected there is this bright red spot in the sky with a slight tail behind it.
So it seems safe to sleep here.
As you're heading upstairs, Eric, you feel something on your shoulder, and you turn, and it's a bat. But then it sort of bounces up and down, and again, you're stepping out from this cloud of surprise. You see it's a stuffed bat. And it's being held on a string. And following the string up, you see a stick. And at the end of the stick, you see the two little boys peeking through the railing on the second story.
Oh, you got me.
They laugh at each other, scream, and run back to their room, and you can hear Danica.
Feel a little sad. They took the bat, right?
Yeah. They took the stick with them.
Just gonna go back up to my room, and I don't want to be seen by anyone else.
Lady Lon, you enjoy your bath in solitude.
While I'm taking a bath, I have my soap, so I'm very nice and clean. I also
Whoa. Soap's extra.
No, I have soap.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, that's true. You have soap.
I have soap. And then I take out my healer's kit as well as my herbalism kit and my mushrooms and herbs. And I look at the wound that isn't healing. And I try to maybe put some sort of salve, or fashion something to see if I can do anything about it.
Roll a medicine check. And do you have proficiency with herbalist's kit? I think you might.
Yes, I do.
So roll with advantage.
Well, I have...
because you did find some interesting mushrooms earlier.
Yes. 16.
You manage to scrounge together what you have, and as well as you find a particularly astringent tea in the kitchen, which you think will help. And you, unfortunately, based on the travels you've had, that one wound is not the only that you've picked up. And so to test it, you have a sort of gash on the back of your left arm that you sort of run it across, and you can see the fizzing effect and the sting that lets you know it's at least working as an antiseptic. But when you smear it along the nasty, wide open cut that's been placed on your midsection by the werewolves, it has no such effect. It just continues to be raw and, like, to the touch, wet and sticky, but no blood is pouring from it.
Lady Lon sort of looks at it and is like, just sort of annoyed. So she kind of patches herself up. Otherwise, wraps it as well as she can, and then, that's her routine.
And is Rowan doing anything else before going to bed?
I think they'd probably step outside to look at the stars for just a little bit.
And so Rowan, too, notices this comet in the sky, which Rowan had, of course, noticed before.
They were pretty cognizant of. Yeah. Just kind of stare at it for a while, and then once my nose starts to get cold, turn around and go back inside.
Doesn't take long. The weather outside is
frightful. Yeah.
Frightful. And you just left this delightful fire. There's a smell of burning wet wood on the air, and just a pervasive damp that doesn't feel great.
Smoky.
But eventually, with the sounds of the creaky floors of the inn subsiding and the bird sounds outside taking their place, you do manage to find some sleep. Lady Lon, at night, you have an unusually vivid dream. It starts off as a memory, as Strahd getting closer to your neck until you could feel his teeth plunging. Not painful, but certainly not pleasant. And you smile solicitously and turn away from him and start to walk down a hallway, the footsteps echoing through this stone castle with rooms in every direction. And every time you open a door, he's there, closer. And every time you turn around, he's there, maybe a little off in the distance or maybe right in front of you. And you begin to panic, but each time you just smile at him and turn away as though there's nothing wrong. And then, just as you're reaching a peak of frustration and you can feel the tears welling up inside of you and you're about to scream, you look down and you see that the claws which you wear to battle are now just a part of your anatomy. And then you scream silently and wake up. And all told, without the sun there, it's a pleasant enough morning at the inn. You can smell even the sound of bread, or the smell of bread. You smell a smell. That's interesting.
I assume we count that as long rest, so I can get rid of my exhaustion.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
And
now I can have my new HP.
That's right. Everybody reached level 4. Woo! So you have more HP. Has everybody rolled their new HP?
I have not.
I rolled very well.
Okay. then
I'm not gonna roll. I'm just gonna take the 7. It's not worth risk. It's not worth the risk.
Lore, what will you do?
Roll.
Lore will roll.
It's a 7!
Beautiful.
So I am bad at math. 33 HP.
Oh wait, so if I okay, I know how to do this.
Everybody, it's level 4, so for the most part, you just get you get ability points, but under the 2024 rules, you can get a feat that comes with an ability point increase. But real quick, what's everyone doing? What is Rowan's improvement?
I have become a ritual caster. So there are now a number of spells that I have become quite good at casting ritually.
Great.
Yeah.
And which means you can cast it without taking up a spell slot if you take 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, or that's just a ritual spell generally. What the feat means is that once per long rest, a ritual spell I can cast without expending a spell slot in its regular casting time. So not 10 minutes. If it's generally a instantaneous cast, but as a ritual spell takes 10 minutes, then it's an instantaneous spell.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's also a number of, though it doesn't get me any extra spell slots, I do get more ritual spells that are just always prepared. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is pretty dope. And I think you get an additional 2nd level spell slot as well, just as normal druid progression, I think. Maybe not.
Yes, I do.
Cool. What about for Esquivel?
Very simple. I maxed out wisdom, and
nice.
Yeah, I got that extra 2nd level spell slot.
Beautiful. And you can cast anything from the cleric spell list, right? So you don't have to pick a spell.
Yes, all I have to do is prepare
it. Okay, and Lady Lon, what did you select?
Well, there's not going from 3rd level to 4th level for Barbarian is not that exciting.
It's still exciting.
Well, I just increased I was able to, through increasing my ability modifiers, get 1 more armor class. So that is good because my armor class kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's very good. And how about for your wild talent class?
Oh, yes.
What happens at level 4?
I have maxed out my intelligence to just make everything a bit smoother, and I got a couple new abilities.
Everything will hit different.
A couple new psionic abilities.
Father Esquivel, you're sort of first to head downstairs, and you're somewhat bleary-eyed still, and so you walk down the stairs kind of rubbing at your temples and getting the sleep out of your eyes, which, this is the first proper, comfortable night of sleep you've gotten in a while. And at the base of the stairs, right in front of you, is a red cow. Just kind of standing there.
Is it looking at me, or is it doing something?
It's just standing there.
Is anyone else around?
Erwin is making noises in the kitchen.
I'm gonna, while making eye contact.
No, you're not.
Okay, I mean,
you're the DM.
You're the DM.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Tea's ready.
More tea. Without making eye contact with who? With Erwin or with the cow?
With making eye contact with the cow. I'm gonna move a little bit to one side to see if it follows. See if it continues.
No. It's just standing there.
I'm gonna approach the cow.
Hey, talked about bragging about that animal handling school.
Yeah.
It behaves as you would expect.
Which is what?
Not really reacting at all.
like
As I would expect if I were walking downstairs and found a cow in my house.
Kind of. Okay. Hold on. Garfield, get the fuck out of here. Go away. He's found like just an area that's great for him to eat and bite. Okay. Please go. Please go.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Garfield.
Good. Very good.
Hey,
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
you want to
Okay.
eat my leg?
Yeah. Okay, Lore. From now
My
on,
shorts.
I'll just tell you I'll give you a signal. Okay. So
I'll
the
just put him
cow
in the other room, and it'll be fine. It's late
The
enough
cow
that he'll be
just-
happy.
kind of chews and sort of looks up like,
That's what I would expect.
yeah.
Nope.
Right?
Coming back. It was short-lived.
Yeah, because you're his favorite person, Eugene.
Go away. Stop.
I think you better go bring him and put him in the other.
Oh my god, he's biting me so hard. He can't tell it's my foot. I can't. Go away.
Hey, buddy.
Garfield, come here. Garfield.
Garfy!
There he goes. Okay. Yes, the cow.
Cow, right.
Yes.
When you say red cow, like a...
Clifford Red?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like a natural shade? A shade of red that you
Ginger?
find in nature? Or
No,
like...
it looks like a.
Like Clifford.
It looks like
Like
Clifford.
Amber Heard's hair in Aquaman?
Yes.
That, yeah.
Oh my god.
Just put him inside. He's at
You put him inside.
You put him inside.
Why are you getting so crazy right now?
It's so funny to just hear.
This is just like a
It's really funny to try to have any kind of like remotely serious
sorry, I
moment
thought
when
it'd
you
be
can
more
hear.
chill.
I was trying
then he goes over
really
here and goes-
hard.
I thought he'd be more chill.
Well, he's never. You know what? He's never been in this room with you sitting over there,
That's true.
so he's excited.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. Yes.
Here, here, give him his blockbuster.
Oh yeah, Wolfbuster video. Okay. Yes. So
Called
the cow is an
Blockbuster?
unnatural shade of red.
Eugene.
Thank you.
Yeah, just threw a VHS out.
The cow is an unnatural shade of red. Something. Roll a perception check.
That is a 25.
Whoa!
Okay. So
18 plus 7.
So, taking a sort of better look at it and sort of tilting your head, yeah, it looks like it's been painted. And then you're sort of starting to put two and two together as you hear.
I didn't know it would squeak.
As you hear Danica saying, do you realize how long it will take you to get it off? I mean, she can't produce milk. You've got I don't know what those boys have gotten into you, but you've gone truly much too far. Much too far.
Okay, sorry, it's the toy, we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna like try to edge around the cow to get to the kitchen where it seems like they're talking. Sorry, not to interrupt, but
No, boys will be boys, right?
does the cow live inside?
They thought it would be funny. Apparently, based on some urging from the water, kids that they would paint the cow red and bring it into the dining room just as I'm setting up for breakfast service.
I'm like looking between the two of them, like trying not to take a side, trying not to get involved in their.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how it would be very funny seeming.
And the one called Bray says, See, he says it was funny. And that's why we did it, because it was funny, right? And Brahm says, yeah, because we did it because it was funny.
I may have not said the right...
Mr. Tavio, you let him be here for free because he's funny. But we're funny and we get yelled at. And then Danica closes her eyes and says, take the cow outside and remove the paint without harming her.
You mean me?
I mean the children. And slowly one of them grabs the lead and leads the cow outside, and then the other one grabs a bucket from the kitchen. Erwin says, you can see this is a lively place.
Children are so fun, aren't they?
They have been before. It's good that you're here. I wanted to, as a friend, provide a bit of a introduction to the peculiarities of this town. Some social graces that you ought observe.
Sure, of course, if there are local customs that we absolutely should abide by them.
Should we summon your traveling companions?
Yes, I'll go and see if they're up.
I think Rowan walks into the room now, laughing, uproariously, and is like, "Did you see? There's some kids painted a cow red out there."
Oh yes, I saw it. They are my kids, and it is my cow.
Oh, you must be very proud.
Oh my God! Get the fuck out of here! Get out! Go away! Go away! Go away!
Hey, Garth.
I love this version of Curse of Strahd, where like every so often an NPC will be like, "Get the fuck out!"
His butt is like impossible to move. Okay, there you go. I kicked him away.
So,
oh my God! He's back after.
You're saying his butt won't. It won't quit.
Get out of here!
Well, like,
my God.
in horror movies, there's
I have
always
to go
that
into the
person
other
that's like, you
place
should
anyway.
get out
I
of
can just
here.
go bring him into the other. I can't get him into the pen, but I can get him into the other.
Just take him in there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll miss him.
Okay. Everyone say bye to Garth. We'll see if he.
Bye, Garth.
Let's see if he does. He goes.
Let's see if he begins. Oh yeah.
He's so cute.
Garfield. You have to.
Okay, everybody say bye to Garfield.
Bye.
Bye, Garfield.
Garfield. There you go. Good boy. Come on.
You really helped us stay in character. Thank you, Garfield.
You really had some good rolls. Okay. And what's Eric's morning style?
Oh, sleeping in as long as possible, but won't miss food. So.
Well, you do smell some bread cooking.
Well, then I'm waiting for that. But trying, always trying to keep as low profile as humanly possible.
So you see downstairs, seated at chairs in the dining room, that some of the few that have already been turned over from the tables where where they were upside down previously. Erwin seated with Rowan and Esquivel. Young man, come join.
With pleasure.
Lady Lon is not up yet, but Erwin says, why don't we get started and you can fill her in. Later this week, we will have the Festival of the Blazing Sun. It is yet another in a series of near weekly, and sometimes even more frequent, celebrations put on by our esteemed Baron Valakovich. There are very strict rules about adherence to festivities and fun. Those who speak ill of the festivals, question their providence or their ability to deliver blessings, you'll find them in the village square, paying the price for malicious unhappiness. Last week, at the Wolf's Head Jamboree, 3 others were put in the stocks. This is the fate of those who speak ill of the festivals. The Baron, he himself has a light touch, but it won't be long before you see his chief lieutenant, a man named Isaac Strasny. He is monstrous in his approach to justice, if you can call it that. And as you'll see, in his very form. Many have tried to test his strength or his resolve. All have failed. You understand why I'm telling you this?
We're not to question the festivals, and
yes,
we're to have fun conspicuously.
Lots of fun. Don't not have fun conspicuously.
Hey,
And that's a rule for all. Is that just during the festival time, or should we be smiling?
No, you may go about your business. You know, the ones who... There are those, of course, who can't help but to walk around morosely. Yes. You've maybe encountered one or two of them. But certainly do not say anything about the festival. You can, if you need to recover your image before the Baron, or if you wish for his favor. He is susceptible to flattery. And Danica walks in from outside, her dress now a little bit covered in streaks of red paint, and says, the other thing to be mindful of is that if there is anyone whose presence and good graces the Baron wishes not to cross, it's Lady Fiona Wachter, the mother of the two boys who are corrupting our own, the ones who were here last night, and a long-time noble family scion. She despises the Baron. She feels him to be a madman. And he does not cross her because of the power that she holds and her family's purported ties to the Baron, the Count. Strahd himself. You may not see her. She is loath to leave her home, but you will see her influence.
But it's at her bidding that the festivals are the way they are?
No, that is Baron Velakovich.
Ah, I see.
Yes, he is the instigator. And, well, what he believes, Erwin interrupts, is that the festivals are keeping Strahd at bay. That our continued jubilation is bringing us favor from God himself. This is a sincere, it seems, belief of his.
That's interesting. When is there something about the festivals that would make people want to talk ill of them, or like when people when they say bad things about the festivals, what kind of things do they say?
That they don't believe a festival ought to have an enforced level of elation. And that perhaps our time and resources are better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, there are,
And Danica
hungry
says,
people, refugees.
and it's just a pain in the ass.
I mean, having one every week
Every week.
feels like a lot.
You hear the sound of someone coming down the stairs, and from over your shoulders you hear a good buongiorno, Erwin, if I may, and it's Rictavio. Erwin hands him. He gets up, goes over to the kitchen, and grabs a parcel. Lady Lon nearly kind of bumps into Rictavio as they both try to get on the staircase at the same time. One is coming around a corner, the other is just going down the upstairs stairway, and then you have the awkward sort of, you first, no, you go.
No. That doesn't happen.
What?
The minute he goes, you first, she goes.
Okay, fair enough.
This is not a problem that Lady Lon has.
Erwin hands Rictavio a parcel, and Rictavio smiles, nods, and moves on, exiting the building. Erwin says, "So, all I want to warn you about is just maintain the facade and do not cross Strahd."
What's the facade? Sorry, because I missed that.
We've got to pretend like we're having a really great time at this festival, or apparently they'll put us in the stocks.
At every festival.
Every festival, not just this one.
And this one is coming up in 5 days' time. The Festival of the Blazing Sun.
Does that have
I love the
anything-
blazing sun.
Yes, perfect.
Is that the reason for the red cow, or was that just...
Who can say why these boys do what they do?
By the way, Garfield in the pen
Oh, good.
because you left the rest of his food in there.
Oh, good. Well, there's very little left. So, what can I have bread? What else can I get? Do you have any other questions?
Bread sounds great.
Bread and...
Question?
Sure, well, we...
Erwin goes off to the kitchen to grab the bread.
So we...
He shouts, "Potato, I hope that's okay, potato bread."
That's great. So we have a few things to do. How are you feeling, Lady Lon?
Well, am I out of earshot of anyone other than the group?
Danica and Irina are both there.
I'll say, we'll discuss it later.
We are supposed to visit a toy shop?
Oh.
Buy a toy for...
Yes, that would be Blinsky's toys.
Yes.
He is very close to the center of town, no more than a 10-minute walk from these parts. You'll find all manner of toys there, although a little macabre for my taste. The toys have a sort of off-putting character to them.
Well, surely they'll have something.
And then Lady Lon sort of says to Danica, is there a healer in town?
There is Vestra's. She sells poultices and herbs close to the Arisek stockyards. There are the stockyards themselves who have some supplies of medical persuasion. And, well, I suppose in his day, Father Petrovich has been known to work a miracle or two.
Lady Lon sort of thank you.
If we were to leave and visit the Vistani camp near here, would we have any trouble getting back in?
Did you have trouble getting in the first place?
Well, they took silver and tested us for various maladies.
I think the process would be much the same.
I didn't know if they would give us a token of
At
some
night,
sort of fast
Stamp on the
pass.
hand.
As an ounce.
you may find more trouble at night. And Irina says, I do intend to visit this Valakovich and ask him what we can do about the situation of my people. And perhaps he will give us some sort of dispensation. But I think the church first, for me.
Does Lady Lon, having looked at her wound and knowing the source from whence the wound came, does she have a sense that it's sort of a supernatural, that something sort of, because my sense is that she knows that Vestra is not the best. Like Lady Lon with her herbalism expertise, is as good as sort of a normal kind of poultice making healer.
You'd think so, yeah.
So I think she would probably be more inclined to take her either the Vistani or the church. So I think she'd be like, the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Erwin comes out with some piping hot potato bread and a sort of sour looking jam that he identifies as rhubarb. This should hold you over until lunchtime, which we will have here, or you may find in town. Did Danica direct you where you need to go?
I think we know where we're going yet.
I believe so, yes.
Very well. Well, do you need anything else?
Maybe I was like, is that a red cow? How auspicious.
I'm hoping that soon the cow will return back to its normal state.
I think it looks quite lovely the way it is, but it is your cow, so...
Yes, and I'm not sure that the cow agrees with you.
I could ask the cow.
Would you like to?
Let's learn about this cow.
That's alright.
Dungeon Master spends hours preparing all these encounters, and we just want to talk to the cow for.
I think we have more pressing matters. I can always
Trying
catch
to
up
hold
with
egg in the cow.
can always
to
catch up with the
the
cow later.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll see to our duties here. We'll bring linens up for this evening, assuming that you stay, and feel free to return whenever you like.
Is that a tie-in advertisement for the new Captain America movie with Red Hulk that comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, that's right. It's a red hulking cow. Okay, what would you like to do?
It does seem as if we probably should. Our most pressing concerns are with the church, but I think today is Arabella's birthday.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure.
How did you know that?
I had in my notes that her birthday was in 2 days.
Yep,
Wow.
that's right.
I suppose Lady Lon kind of, I suppose a slight detour shall be fine.
Irina says, would you mind then leaving me first at the church?
Well, I wasn't suggesting we shouldn't
Oh, I see.
go to the church.
We will make a point to make it to the Blinksies toys afterwards.
Before they close for the evening.
Well, then we have to take the toy to a camp outside of the city. And I don't know how far away that is. How far?
It's like less than 20 minutes walk from the southern gate of the city.
She can wait.
We could some of us split up.
It is early morning still.
Let's all go to the church and see. I would like to see the church for myself as well.
Oh, it's a wonderful church, says Danica.
You're still here.
Irina says, yes, I suppose we should go to the place that will be my home for God knows how long. I'm sure he let me sneak out.
Did you not want? Were you trying
No,
to avoid that for the time being?
I just...
We could do the toy thing first. We don't need
No,
to...
I'll say go to the church, and then maybe while you're getting the toy, not that I don't want to see the toy shop, but I'll probably go to visit with this baron to see about letting my people in.
Oh, that seems pressing as well.
Well, but
Let's.
you're welcome to come, but there I feel maybe, the daughter of a burgomaster, the baron, maybe I have some sort of cachet.
You would do like a bit unwashed. Except for you, Lady Lon. Still look
Immaculate,
impeccable
yeah.
somehow.
And you smell wonderful.
Thank you.
And the dog also smells wonderful.
He also bathed.
Oh, very well. Maybe I should do the same. Shall we?
Indeed.
So you proceed outside of the immediate confines of the Blue Water Inn and out toward the street, where already people are starting to sort of move about their business, and the square is sort of filling up. Vallaki is a town of, as Danica earlier told you, about 1,500 to 2,000 people. So, not inconsiderable in size, and that means that there is business and activity that happens here. Certainly, much more than in a place like the village of Barovia, which is a little more dead. You, no pun intended. You see these low-lying houses, these streets that are full of mostly residential buildings, but also some commercial ones where the vendors are just starting it's about 8 a.m, just starting to sort of open up their doors to the morning trade. And are you watching on the Furbo?
Yeah.
I think he's fine. He's just hyper.
Well, it's in the pen. I didn't set the Furbo to look at the pen. I said
It's okay. It's okay. It's a dog. He's not going to die. I'm going to get canceled for animal cruelty. He needs to learn to be alone for a bit. It's okay. Don't worry about him.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
No, just ignore it.
Well, we'll see if he does it again.
Oh my god, okay. So you start to see, walking down the street toward. It's okay. Just let him bark it out.
Continuous barking is bad, though.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go. You should go.
Why?
Because you're his person.
No, I'm not. You're personifying this dog too much. He likes you too. He likes Nick just fine. He likes everybody. If Lore gets in there, he'll be excited. Just let him just chill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you walk about 2 blocks west toward the church, which is sort of in the northwest part of town. Oh, before you left, Danica did give you a small reference map that she keeps for visitors.
Ooh!
Just a little map.
I'll just toss it.
There you go.
Got a little visitor center map.
It's okay.
He's been continuously barking for 3 minutes.
Okay, fine. Let him go outside then.
You go let him outside.
Why?
Because I brought him in there.
I'm doing this. Let him go outside.
I'll go let him outside.
It's okay. Li Shen just is very sensitive about this dog.
He's adorable. He's very precious.
He's so lovable.
He is lovable, but he needs to learn boundaries. And
I get it.
and how to be by himself.
I do. I play the role that you're playing with him,
Yeah. You can't just baby a dog.
You can't just
Give him everything he
Sometimes
wants.
it's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
have to be alone.
it's good for him. He's never going to learn otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
So where is the Blue Water Inn?
the Blue Water Inn is almost in the direct center of town.
Okay, so we're not far from the main square.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, sort of along the westernmost side is where the church is. And walking about two blocks west, you start to see people sort of gathered and making way in the middle of the street for what looks like a small procession. In the middle of it, on a chestnut horse, is a person with a reddish kind of flowing robe and a belt with jewels studded into it and some
Just
gold.
wanted to come in here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why you let him.
It's true. I fell for his schemes.
Yeah, you did. I told you not to.
Can't keep him from water.
He has water in there too.
No, he didn't.
Well, why didn't you give him water then?
I texted you. You didn't respond.
What? Should I give him water? The answer is always yes.
No, because it's right before his bedtime.
No, it's not. Okay. It's okay. So, the man is riding proudly with his chin held up in the air, and to his right and left are two big, almost 4 foot tall, droopy looking mastiffs, Tibetan mastiff type dogs. So you can imagine they're very furry and very tall. And there's appears to be a retinue of guards, about 3 of them, and a 4th man who certainly stands out. He's at least a head taller than everyone else. You would guess about 6.5 feet tall or taller. His head is shaved bald, and in fact you notice he has no eyebrows or facial hair as well. But a lot of scars cover his face. Not like scarring like from a fire. It's many discrete scars. He is hulking, kind of another tie-in with Captain America: Brave New World. Just about bursting out of this chest plate that he's wearing. And across his back is a sword, or at least a scabbard, and an axe. But what stands out is that one of his arms, his left arm, is 3 times the size of his other arm. It reaches almost down to his middle calf.
You got a gooner.
It is. It's also about 3 times the size in circumference, like easily the strongest looking person you've ever seen. And the arm has, coming off of it, spikes and brambles. It is fiery red, and it has these veins that are pulsing yellow. You can almost see this yellowy liquid that courses through them. And the hand terminates in, or the arm terminates in a hand that is just clawed fingers with, the hand is about the size of a mace head, or even bigger, like a warhammer. And he's walking proudly in front of this retinue. And you turn just in time to see this woman in threadbare clothes fall into a puddle a few feet from the horse, which makes the horse sort of halt and rear up. You recognize the woman. You saw her kind of wandering in town the previous night. And it's clear that this man with the arm used his smaller arm to push her into the mud. You hear the man on the horse say, "You've almost gotten mud on my cloak with your filthy peasant hands. Stay back." And you hear her saying, "But my son, Udo, you... Please, anything, please. It was a joke. He didn't mean it, please." You hear the man on the horse say, "Udo needs rehabilitation for his malicious unhappiness. And it seems to me that maybe you do too. Isaac, take this woman up. Tighten her tongue with a few days in the stocks." Isaac moves to pick her up. No one seems to be intervening. He grabs her by the scruff of her cloak and with one arm, again the smaller arm, hoists her over his shoulder. And the Baron says, "Let that be a lesson as to the dangers of malicious unhappiness. The devil's hand is long, but our joy shall overcome his shadow." And then he spurs the... Actually, I don't think they had invented spurs at this time. He kicks the horse with his heel. I don't think they had stirrups, maybe. He kicks the horse with his heel, and the procession moves forward. And the Baron says, "Yes, everyone, I expect to see you at this Friday's celebration. The Festival of the Blazing Sun will be the most glorious yet. All will be well. All will be well." And the people say, "All will be well. All will be well." You notice the man with the red arm sort of looking around, appears to be kind of just like observing.
Is that Isaac?
That's the one he called Isaac, yeah. Observing, looking for threats or what have you. But he pauses and narrows his eyes, looking directly at Irina. No! Looking directly at Irina for a long time. And she narrows her eyes too. And he walks past you and sort of continues on his way.
Is that a friend of yours, Irina?
Something about him does seem familiar.
But you've never met him before?
No. No. No.
Was it his arm that looked familiar?
Oh, I think I
Because
would remember.
I would recognize.
Yeah, I think so.
That would be easy to recognize. No, not that. Not that. I don't know. Well, I must say, this Baron seems like he may be difficult to convince to show favor to my people. He doesn't quite seem like a humanitarian.
Maybe tell them that they've heard about the Festival of the Blazing Sun and they're really excited about it. Seems like they really like people who get excited about the festivals.
This is not a bad idea. Very clever.
There's so many, you could say that there's so many people who would be
thrilled even just to be let into the city. They'd be so happy and surely raise the average happiness of his town.
Yeah, I think this is another good way to go. Yeah, they're very smart.
Is there anyone like directly around us?
It seems that the crowd is sort of dispersing.
But we're gonna like do something to deal with him. Right, everyone?
Seems right.
Okay.
I despised forced happiness.
Wow, that's your trigger, huh? That's your thing. Everyone's got a thing. Well, I suppose we can just move on to St. Andrew's. Yes? You continue to walk westward as the crowds in the streets start to become a little more pronounced, I guess. And before too long, I really wish you had not let him back in, Lishan.
Well, go put him back then.
I'm sitting here, dungeon mastering. Oh my god. You better go. You better go. You better get out of here.
Garfield!
Garfield!
Garf! Oh, here he comes.
Oh.
Just put him in Lishan's lap, maybe.
No, you can't. He can't go in my lap.
Okay. You see, not too far away, this slouching, centuries-old stone edifice with a large central tower and a large steeple kind of bulging out of the front of it, and a more leveled grounds than you've seen at other buildings. And in fact, the fact that it has all this space around it makes it stand out from the rest of the city. It has a cracked stained glass window above its arched entrance and a few more depicting saints that you recognize. And a sign at the front which says St. Andrew's Church. This wrought iron fence is enclosing this garden of various gravestones that's right next to the church, and there's a mist that just sort of creeps among the graves as the voices and clamor of the town seem to leave you once you enter the grounds. Rena says, shall we?
That's cool.
Looks great.
What's Morrigan's situation right now?
Yeah, I think, well, it's the beginning of a new day. So do familiars go away when you sleep?
Not necessarily.
They just hang out indefinitely?
I think so.
Yeah, she's still a cat. She's still on my shoulder.
Oh, okay. So as you enter the church, Lady Lon, roll a dexterity save.
Piano's falling.
Organ.
Yeah.
Harpsichord.
7.
First of all, I forgot. It's morning.
Ah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, but I assume that this is not something that I can see coming at me?
You can.
Okay. If that is the case...
Yeah, you have or something
Danger
senses.
sense.
Danger sense.
Then I have advantage.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better. That is a dirty 20.
That's a lot better. Okay, so just as you turn the corner, you see this briskly moving older man move toward you. He has shoulder-length gray hair and kind of liver-spotted face with these very deep-set, sunken eyes. There's a big underbite. And you manage to just get out of the way, avoiding crashing into him. And he then trips over the stairs leading up to the front door of the church. And he's carrying like nails and planks, nails in a small box and planks just in his arms, and they all just go flying. You see...
Is this Mr. Bean?
You see...
It would be fun to role play Mr. Bean.
or Mr. Magoo. You see these spectacles...
Disadvantage on everything.
Yeah. Spectacles just...
Akimbo?
fly off of his face. And so now he's sort of on the ground, scrambling helplessly, trying to find his glasses. He gathers up some of the wood and he gets up and some of it falls. He's just tripping all over himself. Sorry, I'm picking up. And he finds his glasses without much help, but then he sort of presses on them with his palm, and one side gets smashed. And he says, I'm sorry. And he sort of gets up and walks out down the street. Unless you have some intervention or something.
miss him.
Big turkey on his head. Shoes fly right off.
I got another cantrip this level up.
Oh, yeah.
So I was gonna before he flees, I was gonna do mending on his glasses.
He sort of takes them off. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you know where we might find, I'm sorry, what was the priest's name here?
Petrovich.
Petrovich. Father Petrovich?
The father is inside, yes.
Okay. And you are?
I'm the carpenter. That's Henrik.
Oh.
And he had a small repair. To fix. I'm just leaving.
Oh. Well, we won't keep you.
Thank you. As you enter the chapel, Irina bends down and picks up another 2 boards and a small box that he dropped and hands it to him. And as you enter, you notice Morgan kind of gets uncomfortable and hops off your shoulder and sort of waits at the threshold. Inside, you see a dozen ornate candelabras that are bathing the well-kept pews in candlelight, which helps on a gloomy day like this, which is every day here. And it casts this sort of soft glow that touches every corner of a pretty nice chapel. At the far end of the room, there's a well-carved wooden altar with Christ on a crucifix depicted on the front, and people in prayer looking up to him. There's also a sunburst at the very top of it. There's on either side of the altar there are 3 windows, so six windows altogether. But with stained glass, but one does appear to have been broken, and there are these teeth-like glass shards that are lining the kind of iron and lead pane of the window. At this window, on top of a small, rickety-looking stepladder, is a man, broad-shouldered, with a mop of black hair, and he's nailing a cloth tarp into place to sort of cover it. And at his feet, a young, sandy-haired, freckled child is sweeping the chapel floor, getting some of the glass off of it. And then next to them, this elderly-looking man, clearly a priest, based on his vestments. He has gray hair that sort of flows down from an otherwise bald pate. And he looks quite disheveled from the hair down to very plain vestments. He's with his cincture hanging from his neck, from his shoulders. And he's sort of watching them work from the pews, sitting there, holding a broom, but he's clearly also lost in thought. And he turns over his shoulder and looks as you approach. Oh, yes, welcome. Hello.
Father Petrovich?
Yes, that is me.
I'm Father Esquivel.
Do you guys react to him making the...
Just kind of look.
Monto's kind of like...
A visitor.
Dog hates flying.
Another man of the cloth.
Dominus Vobiscum.
Nice.
Indeed. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've had to use my Latin. The flock here is... well, they only know what they know. And I don't get much contact with the outside world. Our humble diocese is quite secluded. Sequestered, you might say. I'm sorry, you don't need to hear me rambling about this.
No, did you... seems like you had some sort of accident in the church?
Oh, yes, a branch from the tree outside fell overnight and broke the window.
Does that seem like the truth?
Yes? No, just roll an insight check.
Okay. 26?
You get the sense that he's quite nervous and maybe hiding something as he mentions that. You also notice that the young man on the stepladder has paused what he's doing and is listening quite intently, but not overtly.
I see. Well, God keep you and your church and your flock. We've come... how... if someone were to have some trouble with some kind of supernatural affliction, not somebody in the city, but how is that something you would be able to? I'm afraid my own knowledge of the appropriate rituals is not so great. Clearly a man of great experience.
You mean like a curse?
I suppose you could look at it that way.
I think a thing such as that is likely beyond my powers.
Okay. Well,
some say the Vistani are well versed in the knowledge of such things, but they are as equal to dispense as they are to cure.
Well, we have brought someone who I think you might have previous knowledge of their arrival, know that they're headed over or coming.
Oh, and he turns and says, "Of course, Miss Kolyanova, we have been waiting for you, right, Yeska?" And the child, sweeping, now turns and says, "Yeah, we made a room for you. I can show you. We're really excited." And Father Petrovich says, "Indeed, we have been looking forward to performing a service like this for your late father and for your brother too. We are nothing if not grateful for their leadership and their patronage of the church in the city of Barovia, and it brings me great pleasure to repay that in kind, even if in this small way." The young man on the ladder turns around and says, "Father, are these outsiders bothering you? Do you want me to ask them to leave?" And the Petrovich kindly turns, smiling, to the young man and says, "Milivoy, in these dark times, it's never been more important to extend hospitality." Milivoy says, "That's fine, I just thought the gates were supposed to be closed. Why do we have visitors?" And Petrovich again turns to him and says, "It is not for us to question how these visitors have arrived, though in this case their arrival was foretold. Not by any spiritual means, by letter. But in this case, we're very happy to have them." Milivoy says, "Fine. That's okay. I can't be too careful. Be safe, Father." And he walks out, says, "I'll return later to finish up." Meanwhile, Yeska says, "Miss Irina, come this way to your quarters. I'll be happy to show you." And Petrovich says, "Yes, that'll be fine, Veska. Yeska, please take her." And then it's just the five of you left standing in the chapel. And Petrovich again looks at the Have you traveled with her long?
Few days.
Well, thank you indeed for bringing her here. What are your plans?
It's a very good.
Toy Story?
Yes, we were going to Bunsky's.
Oh, you'll very much enjoy it, I think.
Do I get the sense that when he was saying, like, oh, like, this is beyond my abilities, that he is being sincere?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, boy.
15.
You do get the sense that he wants to help if he can. And you brought her here from Barovia.
She'll be safe here?
Was it difficult to get here?
Difficult enough.
He looks around to see if Yeska's still occupied. Ordinarily, she would be safe. Now I am not quite so sure.
What makes you say that?
Father, are you aware of Saint Andro, the namesake of this church?
Am I?
I think you would not be, probably.
Okay.
Well, roll a history check with advantage.
Plus 16, I think. Yeah.
You wouldn't. A local figure. Androl was the founder of this church, the archbishop of the Alba Iulia archdiocese, and a great aid to King Barov when he re-established his dynasty's line here. Androl was a important figure not just for establishing this church, and for aiding Barov in ridding the anti-Christian line that was installed before. But he also was absolutely dedicated in his fervent hate of all things unnatural and in particular undead. When he died, his bones were interred here, and in effect, they make it hallowed ground. No undead or any unnatural creature can step foot. Every year, we rededicate this consecration on the day of St. Andrew's feast, which this year happily coincides with our dear Baron's Festival of the Blazing Sun. Only the bones are gone.
By theft?
When did they...
This morning, when I awoke, due to the sound of a terrific crash, I came down here and saw that the chamber below the altar, which was well hidden for a long time, it had been breached, and a cloaked figure emerged from the depths, carrying a bundle. I yelled, I asked him to show his face. Cannot say that it was a man. And the figure leapt through that window there. I didn't want to tell Jeska or indeed anyone else, for they would be very frightened to know that the bones are gone. But if they are not returned by the festival, I fear that the hallowed nature of this place will dissipate.
When you say this, this figure took the bones and leapt out the window, did they leap like a man leaps, or did they leap like something more than a man?
Well, the window's not very high. They didn't leap to the top, just about waist height.
Right. Okay.
A man in a hurry could do it, yes.
How tall were they?
Not much taller than I, to tell you the truth. But quite a bit sprightlier.
Would we draw too much attention if we were to take a look around the window and perhaps the chamber below? I take it you're keeping this secret from your
Yes,
followers.
and I apologize for... I need not keep it from Irina. You can decide how best to address that. She serves only as a helpful distraction at the moment for Jeska. Jeska, show our guest to the grounds on the far side of the church, please. And Jeska says, "Okay, Irina, come with me, okay?" And
I let Monto out of my sleeve and nudge Monto towards the glass.
Oh, you've brought an animal.
I hope you don't mind. He would like to stretch his legs, and I kind of tell him to go smell.
He starts eating all the glass.
No, that's what Garfield would do.
Yeah.
Because he has, to see if he can smell anything.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be reacting especially strongly, but he's, sniffing around. Lucian says, "Okay, yes, come this way." And he pushes aside the altar, and you could see this small pile of fresh wooden boards that are sort of resting there, and a pouch of nails, and then these floorboards that he revealed have been pried up and broken with the splintering edges just jutting out at odd angles. And then between them, there's an opening that goes down to this dark, dusty space.
And we can look.
Yes, you may.
Yeah, if there's like a bit of loose wood from the pried up floorboards, I'd cast light on it and toss it down the steep stairs or ladder or whatever it is goes into.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. The Father Petrovich sort of looks approvingly as he sees you cast this spell. Oh, I see you have been blessed as well.
That's certainly what I call it every day when I wake up.
The piece of wood clatters not 6 feet down from where you are, and you see these walls made from rough-hewn stone down there, which are just really stained and mossy with just age and damp. And there is a lonely stone slab down there, and an empty circular depression in its center.
Mm-hmm.
And the circular depression was where the bones were?
Yes, that's where the bones were laying.
Eric just kind of walks over to that. He's just been hanging out in the back. But he reaches out to the circular depression and touches it. And it's accessing a new ability that I just learned called Read Object.
Okay.
You touch an object and gain the following information regarding it. You receive a mental image of the last creature to hold it. You hear, and here's what I'm going for. You see and hear any events that have occurred within 20 feet of the object within the last 8 hours.
Oh.
Whoa.
Perceiving those events from the object's perspective.
Okay.
That's some Cal Kestis shit.
It's within
That's
8
awesome.
hours.
Yeah. So, you are looking. You've got your hands on the orb like when Trump went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna say like Pippin and the Palantir.
That too.
Way less charming.
The orb.
The orb.
Is he gonna do that again?
He's probably excited.
He's gotta
to
go
touch the
re-up
orb.
on his orb energy.
Yeah. So you are looking up. All you see at first is just the barest slivers of light breaking through these floorboards, and then you start to hear a banging and clattering, and then a...
Hold on, I have to make sure I can do this. I can't just say I'm doing this.
Oh, yeah,
I
good
have
point.
to try to do it.
Never mind, you didn't hear banging and clattering.
I haven't heard anything yet. Okay, I get to roll this twice because it's a chronopathy
I'm gonna...
skill. So I've used my chronopathy adept.
Or actually, this isn't an ability check, so I can't give you guidance. Yeah.
Okay, that's on the edge. I did it.
Okay.
See?
So you hear this clattering, and then suddenly more light is breaking through, and then more light, and you see a shovel like crack the wooden surface, and then you see a cloaked dark figure come down. You see he swears. Sounds like a... Actually, you see them swear. You hear them swear under their breath, and they sort of tear at a piece of fabric that got snagged on the slivers of wood, or a nail. And then they grab this shovel and throw it up on top of the wood that they just broke through. And then you don't really see a face because of the cloak, but they come down and you hear a sort of squish, squish, squish sound as they're walking around the mud around you. And they reach into your belly and grab these bones. And then they go back up, and then you hear a voice say, "Oh, show yourself, show your face."
And I recognize that voice.
You recognize that voice, and then you hear the sound of breaking glass. And that's it. And then you see Father Petrovich's face. Yeah.
Oh no!
My bones.
I see the intruder, but I can't make out their. I can't tell you who they.
No, it's too dark, and their cloak really was covering.
Yeah, sorry.
Does Eric tell us this?
Yes, that's me telling
Okay.
me exactly.
You said they cursed though, and they
Yeah, I
used a
could hear
shovel.
them.
We're not dealing with a.
It's a sounds like a person, right?
Lady Lon tries to go find
Yes.
the piece of
They were shaped like a person and moved like a person.
the piece of cloth that was left on the nail.
So looking at the hole in the floor, you find a piece of gray wool fabric.
Is there anything remarkable about the fabric?
No.
I bring it over to Monto's face. And
He
like,
grabs it with his teeth.
no, like smell it.
Swallows it.
He gives it a good smell. And then a bark. Anything else?
Do you have any sort of depiction of the bones, or could you... Is there anything special about them in terms of the way they look or the way they are, or...
There's a femur, a skull, definitely. A sort of ulna and radius,
Checks out, yeah.
humerus,
You know a lot of bones.
patella, many ribs, spine, all the way from the thoracic to the lumbar to the cervical.
Pretty much
The
all
sacrum.
the bones in a
Ilia,
Human.
ischia,
in a human body.
Yeah. All
tibia and fibula,
206 of them.
tarsals, metatarsals.
So it is most of all.
Are
Most
you
or
sure
all.
you're a priest?
Yeah, and about the metatarsals, if we don't get every single last little one, is the spell still going to work?
I think just the big ones will probably be sufficient.
Oh, good. That's a lot of
Regular
bones.
tarsals.
Don't have to get meta about it.
You said a shovel?
Yes. Tossed it up there.
Oh, you also find some. One thing that you can see when the character, the figure was backlit, is some strands of dark hair sort of peeking out.
Dark hair? I've got dark hair.
It does have.
Long dark hair.
Yes.
At least enough to
No,
just peek out
well,
of a cloak.
Yeah, maybe like this length ish. So
Bangs?
Yes, bangs. He was
It's
just
the
in a
lead singer
breakup.
of My Chemical Romance.
It's hard to even imagine because I never, nobody knows that these bones are here.
Who would
Someone
know?
knows.
Who would know? Other than you.
The only other person I ever have told is Yeska. She was scared. She'd heard that maybe Strahd would come here and attack, and I was nearly inconsolable, and the only way I could calm her down was telling her that we were in fact protected from him or anyone else by the bones, but Yeska couldn't do this.
How?
She could have told him.
Yeah. How old is she?
I think 5 or 6.
Oh no.
They kind of go around running their mouths an awful lot. I mean, it's not their fault, but she could have easily told someone, "Oh, Father says I'm safe at the church because we've got such and such
Special bones,
bones."
magic bones.
Well, I suppose you can ask.
The
Don't scare her.
It will be very kind. It's just at the moment that seems like the most likely way somebody would have known.
Yes.
Unless, did you have any kind of like a holy rite of some kind that had some sort of like protection on these?
No, just the wood. And the secret. The shovel... It's not enough proof, but our groundskeeper, the boy who was here earlier, Milevoy.
I don't like that guy.
He is often found with a shovel in his hands.
Suspicious. Is he have dark hair?
You did say that he
has dark hair.
Yeah.
And kind of looked like a mop, like Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
Wow.
But again, it's... I don't think he could. And how would he know?
Yeska?
Milevoy.
Yes.
From Jessica?
Oh.
Yeah, especially if he's around a lot and, she talks to him. Maybe she trusts him.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't.
He seems like a sneaky boy.
Well, he might not do it on his own, but maybe, someone else came to know or forced him to do something. Could have just been scared and hoping that it could protect his family. I mean, tensions are high.
Indeed.
Around here.
Let me... And he walks over to the broken window and sort of pulls the tarp aside. Yeska, I have a question for you. Can you come in, please? And show our guest to her room. And before long, you hear a voice from outside, and then soon Yeska is back inside, sort of brushes her hair out of her freckled face and says, "Okay, yes? Yeska, did you tell anybody about the secret I told you about St. Andrel?" And she thinks really hard, scrunches up her face. No. Honest, I didn't.
I'm going to definitely want an insight check on that.
Yeah, I'm going to guidance.
Okay.
Guidance you.
You had 4?
A D4.
Add a
God
D4.
damn!
Another great roll.
Another very good roll. It's another 26.
Wow.
She's being... You strongly believe that she's being honest.
Well, you heard her.
And you wouldn't lie, right, Yeska? She says. No. Why would I lie? That's a sin.
Were you absolutely certain that nobody else was around when you were telling Yeska the reason that you were safe? Is there any chance that anyone else might have been there or nearby?
Milevoy. He... Yes, he may have been.
Well, I think we have a person of interest to speak with.
What did you think of Hendrix? The other... Hendrix? Is that
Oh,
Henrik?
Henrik, the carpenter. Yes, I called him over to help us fix up the window. A bit of a bumbling fool, but look, when the most able carpenter in town is your coffin maker, you don't have many choices. I can't think that he would have known or been able to overhear. And Jeska says, "What are you talking about?" Petrovich says, "Nothing. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. As our parent says, all will be well." Jeska says, "Okay, good, because I don't want anybody to attack us like Milivoy said they might. The bones will keep us safe, right?" And he says, the bones will keep us safe.
They look great. They look really powerful.
Petrovich says, "Jeska, why don't you look after our guest, and we'll go visit with Milivoy. How does that sound?" And we can pick that up next time.
Nice.
Fucking Milivoy is gonna get it.
Can't wait to waterboard that motherfucker.
Little bitch ass kid.
I almost telekinetically
stopped.
Removed the ladder from under him while he was being should have done it.
That would have been pretty good.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Damnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Eric von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist. His hair, a messy jet black patch, appears to be thinning. He moves with the jerky grace of a puppet, his limbs seemingly not entirely his own. Clutched firmly in his hand is a ruby brooch, a glimmer of hope in a life filled with darkness. Whispers follow him, telling of a noble lineage abandoned, a sinister apprenticeship, and a mysterious benefactor offering salvation in a distant land. There is an unsettling aura that surrounds him, a disquiet that hints at secrets best left undisturbed.